Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I'm Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. And the content that we're going to show you today is yet another example of how the Biden administration, the left, the gun controllers are weaponizing the members and officials within the United States government to push for more extreme gun control because that's all they've got. Authoritarian pushes from the executive branch. Everything that I'm about to show you from the Surgeon General is linked right down there in the description box below. I can't wait to show you what they're pushing as common sense ideas because there's a plan and method to the madness, even though it is a lot of madness. Now, of course, make sure you leave a comment down there in the description box. Of course, like, subscribe, and share this video out if you want to spread this two-way blessing to the next generation, and I appreciate you guys for doing that as we dive in to the extreme levels of crazy, because it just never stops with these people, okay? Understand, what I'm about to show you is the most recent example of the weaponization of the executive bureaucratic branch underneath the Biden White House. We've been through it for 4 years with the ATF. We've watched it with the CDC. We've watched it with the EPA. All they do is stress the levers of power and flex on people from the executive bureaucratic branch of our government because Congress is at a stalemate, so they're just going straight tyrant on all of the executive agencies. All right? But there's a reason to what they're doing, okay? But let's get into this. So, hat tip to gun owners of America, because here's the tweet that they just put out, and the left is lapping this up like crazy. Breaking: Surgeon General Vivek Murthy just abused his authority and declared gun violence a public health crisis, calling for firearm carry bans, gun confiscation laws, assault weapons bans, magazine capacity limits, storage requirements, and gun registration checks. Now, I'm going to get into all of what they say, but how they say it here is the important piece outside of just weaponizing government officials and the medical industry to infringe upon our gun rights. But other than that, the first thing I'm going to show you here is, again, this was released today. This is the most vague and most manipulative way to say, let's take your guns, that I've ever heard. All right, again, I need you in the comments and share this out. Here we go. Under firearm risk reduction prevention strategies. In addition to community-based prevention strategies, public health leaders and policymakers can use available scientific evidence combined with scientific judgment and expertise to consider prevention strategies that build distance in terms of time and space between firearms and people who are at risk of harming themselves or others. Okay, prevention strategies to build distance in terms of time and space of guns. Okay. Time, extreme risk protection orders. They want to make sure you have temporary disarmament as long as humanly possible. That's time. And distance is physically taking them from you. They don't have the balls to say it, but that's what they just said. Okay? Because some of us can actually use words and connect thoughts together in sentences. But let's keep going here, because this stuff is so manipulative. They are weaponizing the medical system and the executive bureaucracies against the rights and the protected in the Second Amendment of the Bill of Rights. These people are disgusting. But let's continue. Turns out, guys, these short little list of simple things that add space and time to gun rights require safe and secure firearm storage, including child access prevention laws. Okay. So we're just going to go ahead and say that you have to have mandatory storage. Okay, that's safe storage laws. There's Ethan's Law. Look how that weaseled its way right in. We've covered that. Safe and secure firearm storage means that firearms are stored unloaded and locked in a secured place, such as a firearm safe that is only accessible to authorized users, and that ammunition is stored separately from the firearms. Hey, quick question. How are they going to enforce that one without some government body checking on it? You can't. That's the fatal flaw in that argument. You want to build a government body because you want to say it's mandated, and then go, oh, well, how do we enforce it? Oh, look, we have to start this new body to do it. It's exactly the step, okay? But this is the giveaway right here. This is the underlying theme in all of the points I'm about to cover with you. Various safe storage and child access prevention laws have been implemented at the state level to require safe storage in firearms and penalize those who put children at risk due to failures related to safe storage. In every one of the points that I'm about to show you, they utilize other states as examples, and they don't mention the fact that it's unconstitutional, don't mention the fact that they're under lawsuit, they don't mention any of that fact. It's all about, look at the bandwagon approach, okay? This is from the Medical Surgeon General. Implement universal background checks and expand purchaser licensing laws. So licensure to own a right. That's not a right anymore. That's now a privilege. If a license can be revoked, it is a privilege. It's very straightforward and simple, but it doesn't matter. Let's add some distance, time, and space. God in heaven, these people are so manipulative. Universal background checks would expand on current federal law which requires any person engaged in the business of dealing firearms to obtain a license and conduct background checks. That's weird because John Cornyn's little Safer Communities Act just showed up in this mandatory Surgeon General warning. Isn't that weird how that works? Yeah, sure, it's a coincidence. Anyway, let's continue. To include mandatory background checks for all firearm purchases, including private sales and transferring gifting firearms. Guys, they don't want to make sure, they don't want to interfere with all of the gun buying and gun trading and the actual commerce. They would never want to do that until the Surgeon General comes out 5 weeks later and says, yeah, we do. They'll always do this. The frog in the boiling pot, people. It is literally just turning that heat up until you have no gun rights left. That's exactly what they do, and they always do it. It is not a question of if, after all. This is about getting some distance and space and time from your gun rights. God, these people are so gross. All right, let's take a little time and spin some discussion around red flag laws, because that's a lovely little thing. Implement effective firearm removal policies. Didn't even dress that one up. Extreme risk protection orders, ERPOs, and domestic violence restraining orders are complementary civil court orders, each with defined due process protections. Bull crap. You don't face your accuser. You don't get to mount your own defense. You are guilty, and then you have to prove you're innocent. There is nothing due process around this. You can say it all day you want. I don't care if you're a medical surgeon general. You are lying through your teeth. The dental things in your mouth, if you want to get medical, you manipulative. And that's how I feel about it, people. That's how I feel about it. Let's go to banning assault weapons, because you got to do that, right? Well, we got to ban assault weapons and large capacity magazines for civilian use. And then it goes down through all the things and then blames all mass shootings on assault weapons, even though they're not. Doesn't matter. Facts don't matter. This is about emotion and adding distance, space, and time. But I'm going to do a pause real quick because I got two more. If you don't see what they're doing, I don't know what else I can do for you. They are doing this piecemeal. The ATF over here changes this little definition of engaged in business and who's a dealer and who's not. And then John Cornyn passed the Safe Communities Act, which allowed the entire thing to happen. The executive bureaucratic state gets their whole hands on it. And now all of a sudden, the medical surgeon general of the United States is now putting out these ideas, of which incorporate all the leftist talking points around gun control. And they don't even dress it up, except at the beginning where it says adding space, distance, and time to your gun rights. You're literally looking at an abuse of power that has been unprecedented in any other presidential administration, unlike the Biden administration. This is insane. All right, let's continue. Create safer conditions in public places related to firearm use and carry. Yeah. Okay, let's continue. Including through policies that govern who can carry a loaded firearm in public spaces, concealed or open, and through rules around using deadly force with a firearm in public situations where the individuals could have easily or safely retreated without firing a weapon. That is duty to retreat. Now, if you're not familiar with duty to retreat, that's something that leftist states like to put in place that makes you accountable, and you have to leave your own home, your own defensible position, because if there's a window right over there and there's someone holding a gun to your head, you better try to get to that window before you defend yourself, because you did have the duty to retreat and the escape route was right there. That is duty to retreat laws. It's the exact opposite of castle doctrine, where castle doctrine is someone's in your house, you can defend yourself. Well, it's kind of like that, only the inverse, where, like I said, it doesn't matter what's going on in the house, doesn't matter who's in the house, doesn't matter if your family members are in there, nothing. There are no extenuating circumstances. If you have a door behind you and you want to take out a threat that's threatening your family member, you're going to get arrested because there was a screen door right behind you. The police will come and clean up all the mess. Don't worry about it. Honest to God, that's what that is. But anyway, Surgeon General, beautiful people. I can't imagine that this was twisted in a political year to get some oomph for the gun controllers who are celebrating like crazy online about this. Anyway, last thing. Treat firearms like other consumer products. And this is a big thing. You can read the entire thing. It's linked. But basically, go down the road of putting a direct governing body and a regulatory body over the gun industry, which would require things like mandated warning safety labels and increased safety development of different parts and changing of the actual physical item. Because after all, it's not like any other industry, like the tobacco industry and the car industry and the pharmaceuticals. They all have regulatory overstep or overview, but the gun industry doesn't. If you believe that the gun industry does not have a regulatory overview, I don't know what I can do to help you further once again, because they are one of the most scrutinized industries on the planet. But anyway, That's what they're up to today. What can we do today, people? Well, how do we add more distance through time and space from the people and their firearms? Infringing tyrants. And that's what I've got for you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.